Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm joined today by Amelia Ruffin. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, I'm excited to hear your story. I just want to get a little backstory first. I always like to ask, before we find out what's going on now with your preschool, what's your background and what was going on before you decided to start your preschool journey?
Okay, well, preschool has always been something that's been in the background for me. I was a school teacher with the district for years, but before I did that, I did home daycare with my kids when my first two were young. And at that time, I was teaching high school. And I stopped teaching high school. I did home daycare. Then when I went back, I wanted to do preschool because I loved that age group so much when I was doing the home daycare. So I got my master's in early childhood education, and they put me in third grade because, of course, they tried to get me as far up the ladder as they could because I had the high school experience. And so I actually loved third grade, but after a while, I remembered, wait a minute, I love preschool. That's what I wanted to do. And so through all of this, I was just like, you know what? I need to get back to what I wanted to do in the first place, which was preschool. Yep. And so here I am. So the pandemic definitely helped for me to go, I think it's time to shift and make that move.
Oh, yeah, man. So many teachers are looking to get out after the pandemic, and how I am so glad I got out when I did, because that was, oh man, it's rough for teachers now. It's rough. And I really, really feel for them, because I have so many teachers back in my old schools, and I just feel so bad for them because they're really, really struggling. So I totally get that. I totally get that. Had you always wanted to start your own preschool, or had that even been a thing in your mind? You just wanted to teach preschool with the district because you didn't really even think about starting your own?
I did want to start my own, but I didn't feel like I had the stability to do that. So
Right.
I actually liked the comfort of knowing where my check was going to come from.
Yeah.
So I was going to go with the district, but it didn't work out that way. So just starting on my own has worked, and I'm so glad that I stepped out and did it. And I'm so glad I did it when I did it.
Yeah, totally. It's such a leap of faith that you take when you walk away from that. I mean, for me, I was 1 year to being vested into my pension, and I was like, oh, do I even want to wait another year? I'm like, no, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait. But it's like, it's really scary because you have that health insurance, you have that steady paycheck, you have a job because they're desperate for teachers, and to walk away from all that because you're, there could be something better. Is it going to work out? It's really scary, and it takes a lot of guts to do it. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so I just read a quote about it's scary to step out on the limb, but that's where the fruit is. And so I had to do it because I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And it's something I've wanted for forever.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure glad you did. Okay. So how did you even find joy?
Actually, right when I was making the decision, like in the back of my head, that one day I am going to go and start a learning center of some sort, and I wanted to be preschool. This was in 2020 at the beginning, before there was a pandemic at all, or before I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was
before the world got crazy.
Before it got crazy. in my head, I was like, okay, remember what you wanted to do. Let's see what you could do. So I started, I guess, just looking, and then she popped up, and I saw, don't want to do daycare, because I was like, I don't want to do I did daycare. I don't want to do it. There were certain things about it that I didn't like, and there were certain things about it that I loved. And so I wanted to keep what I loved, but I didn't want what I didn't like. So I just didn't know how to do that thing. So
what were some of the things that you didn't like?
Well, I didn't like those long hours. That was the thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. I didn't necessarily want to do babies again. So I was like, I know I don't want to do that whole thing again. I just want to teach,
Yeah.
And by the time you get to 3, 4, and 5, you're starting to be able to teach, but I do want to play and I do want to be silly and I do want to have fun. So that put me right there at preschool.
Yeah.
So
preschool is perfect for all that.
Yes,
you get to teach and you get to play and you get to teach them so many like real life skills, like
yes.
so many real things that they're going to use forever. And you're the one who taught them that. And that's a really cool thing. That's one of the things I love about it. I'm like, I'm teaching you so many useful things.
Yes. And that's what it's been like now, coming from 3rd grade down to preschool. And like when I ask them, do you know? And they're like, no, I've never heard of that. And you're like, wow,
yeah.
like, tell you.
Yeah. And they're so excited to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
They're so it's like very rewarding, I would say. Very rewarding.
I'm loving it. I am loving it.
Yes. Okay. So now tell me about your school. What's its name?
Ruffins Muffins Preschool.
Oh my gosh, Ruffins Muffins. That's my favorite name ever. I love that. I love a good rhyme, and that's just amazing. Ruffins Muffins. That's so great. Okay, so is it online or is it local?
All right, so it's both.
Oh, okay.
I started online last year while I was still teaching 3rd grade, and I was doing online with the school system. I started online preschool at the same time.
Okay.
And I had about 6 kids enrolled then. And then I actually, for real, cut the line and I started locally this school year. So I have online and local going at the same time.
Okay. How was that? Is that a lot? Because I did that last year and it was exhausting. I mean, it was great. It was awesome, but it was exhausting.
It is. I'm not sure how I'm going to continue it, but
yeah. Yeah. Do you do like give me your schedule. What's your schedule every day look like? Do you have a Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or what are your classes?
Okay. So right now, my morning classes are full. So they could have signed up for 2 or 4 days. So Friday is free. I kept Friday free.
Yes. Keep that, girl. Keep it.
Yes. Because I didn't want to exhaust myself. I was already exhausting myself and I was trying to make sure that I make, like, one of my motivations, and I love that we do that, was that I wanted to be more available to my family. Yeah. So I figured that if I was working myself to the bones on preschool, which you could easily do because it's your business, that I wouldn't be making myself available for my family. So Fridays are free, but they could have signed up in the morning for a 2-day or 4 days. So some of them are signed up for all 4 days and some of them are signed up for 2 days in the morning. And in the afternoon, I only did Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they could only do 2 days in the afternoon. So Mondays and Wednesdays is when I'm kind of focusing on online. And I still do pre-recorded. So I do my pre-recorded videos and I do one live for my online. And that's on Monday afternoon. To try to keep it open, but it's still a lot. Yes.
You know what? This is our theme for the last so many episodes I've done, is finding that balance. I feel like I want to start like a preschool all-stars book club for this book that I just read from Brene Brown. And because now that I've talked to so many all-stars, like seriously, we brought this up in the past like 10 podcasts of like work-life balance. Starting your own business, you can hustle forever. And then you realize like, wait, I started my business so I could be with my family. And now I've taken over and started so many new things that I'm stepping back and trying to find that balance. So I love that. And some people like know that from the beginning. Like you're like, no, I wanted to have those Fridays off. I wanted to spend time with my family. And then some people are like, they like go all in. They're like, I was so burnt out that I had to step back, and it's constantly, I did that last year, the Fridays off, and it was amazing. And then this year, of course, I was like, oh, I'm going to add Fridays. And I was like, why did I do that? And I'm trying to reel it back in. I'm trying to figure out how I can reel it back in now. So
I think never again on a Friday.
Yes, seriously. Why not? No one should have to work. I feel like we don't need to work 5 days a week. We don't need to. Life is just so much cooler when you have 3-day weekends, because 2-day weekends just aren't enough to relax, because that you got to get all your stuff done and you don't have that day of just relaxing, and it's gone so quickly. Like my weekends are like, I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I didn't relax at all. Oh my gosh.
At all. And that's how it's been, I guess, for years. And so I was just like, I need that Friday. I definitely do, but things still happen on that Friday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's like, so
Totally.
you do have to guard it. You're like, no, this is
Yeah.
my
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Totally. Like even this weekend we have off because it's Nevada Day. And I'm like, yes, 3-day weekend. And my husband's like, what do you have tomorrow? And I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I don't have anything. He's like, I'm sure you have podcast interviews and stuff. And I'm like, no, I really don't. I have nothing. It's like the first Friday all year that I haven't. And I'm like, yay, Fridays. So yes,
Yes.
guard that Friday. They're important. Okay, moving on. So how did you get your first signups for your online? Because you started that first. Did you do like a 30-day challenge or a 7-day, one of the challenges?
I did the 7-day challenge, and then I think I went straight into the 30-day challenge. So I had her book for a while. So I had the book way back in 2020. I read it, but I wasn't ready to jump in yet. And my husband wanted me to jump in right away. And I was like, no, I was still like, I'm not ready yet. So I read it. I wrote down a bunch of stuff, and I was like in my head of like lots of vision. And then I guess the pandemic happened, and then they launched online, and so then I got the book again that had the online
Okay.
in it. So I read the online version while I had started teaching online for school.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, I can do this. I'm already doing it for school, so I could probably do it for preschool. So she started a 7-day challenge or whatever, and I, put it for March. I think everybody was starting March 1st, and I was like, I'm going to start March 15th. So I did like the founding family script, and I got those signups like right away. Everybody just jumped on.
Yeah.
So
So was that let me see, was that like last year, like 2020, or the 2021 in March, or 2020?
Yeah,
This year.
2021.
Okay. Okay, cool. So were you teaching online that whole year for school? The whole year. Okay. And how was that experience? Because I only taught I started in 2020. So like May 2020 was my last year, but I did from March to May of like online with the district. And it was just a hot mess. Like no one knew what was going on. I actually ended up doing like private, like I just had my kids sign up for private time. So I actually got one-on-one time every day, which was cool. And most of the teachers didn't do that, but they kind of like didn't know what to do. So I was just like, I'm just going to do this. And if no one tells me not to, I'm going to do it. And it was kind of nice, but I was worried because I'm like, how can I do preschool online? Like, this has been such a crazy mess, and then I did preschool online. And I'm like, oh, this is a lot better than the way the district is doing it. So how was it different? And how did you make sure that your program was different than what they were already experiencing, which wasn't something great?
No, yes. So I'm very much, I guess, in my head first. It has to make sense to me before I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when way back in 2020, when everything shut down, and then they were like, we're going to Zoom. And I was like, what in the world is Zoom? And,
Yeah.
That was a mess. And nobody knew what anybody was doing, and everybody was doing something different. So it's like, I kind of texted the parents and said, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I just was honest. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I thought about it. I did like some YouTube videos, and then I Zoomed with them a couple of times, and that was that. But then this year, coming back, the year that we just finished, I found out that I was going to be the virtual teacher maybe 2 weeks before school started. So this is why I didn't start preschool right away, because I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It has to be way better than what I just did. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the district wanted me to do. I came up with my own plan, and I told my principal, I said, this is what I'm doing. And she said, okay. And I told the parents, this is what we're doing. And they said, okay. So it actually worked really good. And I kept my schedule all year long. So I kind of told them that math was going to be from this time to this time. And then I put them in groups, and I said, I need to see these kids, small groups. I just need to see, because I had like over 30 something kids, and I can't see you all and teach you all.
Yeah.
So I kind of put them in groups, and I told them when to come, and that worked. Okay. And so then with the preschool, I pre-recorded, like I said, and then I met with them on Saturdays. So I Zoomed them on Saturdays.
Cool.
So it worked really well. It still was a lot. It was a lot that I was doing, but I knew that that was going to be my last year. So when I went into that year, I went into that year thinking, this is my last year. I'm going to start my preschool.
Yeah.
So I wanted the preschool to be really good. I
Mhm.
wanted people to have good, positive feedback instead of saying it was just okay, you know?
Right, right. Yeah, I think that's really, it's nice knowing. I had that too, where I did one more year with the district, but I already knew that I was like, I spent that whole year planning. So like I already decided I was going to do it in August, and I was like, all right, this is my last year. So I was like, the whole year I was able to just like look for stuff to put in my local preschool, get like,
Yeah.
take my time doing the licensing process and all of that. And it was like really stressful teaching and trying to get my business and my garage converted and everything. But I wasn't like trying to do it in like 2 weeks, and like I had the time. So I feel like I was able to really, to slide into it. And then the pandemic happened and I was like, oh, I can't open a local. I have to do online. And then I did a challenge and changed it all. But it was nice having that buffer of like, okay, I'm with the district, I'm getting paid, and I can work on building my own thing outside of it. That was definitely a great thing. So how did you get your first clients? Was it the Founding Family script?
Yes. So both times for local and for well, actually for local, the flyers really worked really well. So when I went around, I got a group of teenagers together. So my kids are teenagers. I told them to call all their friends. We're going to have a pool party afterwards. And so I had a bunch of teenagers, and we went through all the neighborhoods around here and put up flyers, and I got phone calls right away, back to back to back.
Wow, nice.
That's how I got my local started. My online, it was the Founding Family script that really did it for me.
Awesome. And how many online kids do you have?
So right now, I only have 2 right now. So I just relaunched. So I shut down for summer, and then I relaunched again for this fall semester.
Cool. And are you doing another Founding Family script for that, or are you just doing other marketing strategies?
Yes. So I just did a Founding Families script for that one. And so I've gotten a lot of interest, but I haven't gotten any bites yet. But that doesn't mean they're not going to bite. They just, minute, and they think about it, and then they ask questions, and they come back again. And then I'm pretty sure a few people are going to sign up because I've gotten quite a few questions from them. So in the meantime, I've been making videos, and they'll be there when they get there. So it's not like they'll be coming in and it's like, so what now what? I'm like, oh, there's all these videos,
Yeah.
So then I'll just give them like their time for their live to meet with me, which the kids love the most. They love that the most.
Yeah. My kids used to say, is this the talking day? Because I had them muted for the teaching time and then unmuted for live, and they loved the talking day. I loved it too. I mean, it's fun to talk with them, but yeah, that was always funny. Okay. And how many do you have in your local?
So in my local, I have 9 signed up right now. So I'm not licensed yet because in Virginia, they did a whole switch of the licensing program from DSS to the VDOE. And so it was taking a minute for them to get it together. And so now, it's together, and I just have like my initial licensing and all of that. So for right now, I could do 4 at a time without being licensed. So I have 9. And so basically all the programs I have are full right now.
Nice.
So
perfect.
Yes. And then
so when you're licensed, how many can you have?
When I'm licensed, I'm aiming for 10. And so I'm in the process of getting that done. No more than 10 though. I might cap it a little bit before that if it gets too crazy in here. I'm like, wait a minute, we'll stop at 6,
Yeah. I have 6. I'm only allowed 6 with my license, and it's a great size. And parents love that it's such a small class. Like they like that I think 6 is perfect because like 3, then it's more, they see it as like daycare, like going to 6 is like, okay, this is a full class. Like it's a good size.
Yes.
But yeah, 10 is definitely manageable because you're used to 30, 6 is really nice though.
6 right. I bet. I mean, I'm loving 4. 4 is just like,
4 is nice. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's so nice to get the like one-on-one and get to really know each kid. And I love it. It's just great. It's great. Yeah. How much do you charge?
So I try to be really reasonable in my area because we are in a Title I area. So for online right now is 50. It's going to go up to 60 once the little special is over. So November 1st, it's going to go up to 60 a month because they're getting 2 videos a week and then they get the live. And then in person for 2 days is 100 for the month. And for 4 days is 200 for the month. And
Okay.
that is just this year initial, and that's going to go up a little bit too in the next year.
Okay. And how did you decide those prices? Did you look at the preschools around you?
So there's not that many preschools around here. There's maybe 2, and they all charged around 200 for the month. However, they were like 5-day programs. One did offer like a 2 and 3-day program. So it's right alongside where they
Comparable. Yeah. Okay, cool. And what's your next? I mean, do you have them on do you have a waiting list now for when you get licensed so you can call them?
I do.
Nice. So you should pretty much be full once almost full once you can up those. And are you going to add another class or are you staying where you're at for now?
I'm going to stay where I'm at, and then I'm going to look at online. So if online picks up, then I'll keep it. If it doesn't, then I'll add, maybe an extra day to that afternoon class. I still think I want to keep like Wednesdays open and do like a 3-day class in the afternoon.
Okay.
But I will definitely look at maybe building local, because, I had the more people come and show interest. So
yeah. Awesome. And where do you run it out of? Is it out of a bedroom, an extra room? What part of your house?
I'm in my garage. So we converted yes.
How was that transitioned? Was it already kind of finished or did you have to put a lot of work into it?
Well, there was a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I get it. I converted my garage too. It was crazy. It was a crazy that's why I'm asking, like, was yours as big a project as mine?
Yes. So there was, it's a 2-car garage, but there was a lot of stuff in here. And so people who saw it before and then they see it now, they're like, what, how did you do this? So,
what did you do for the garage doors?
So actually I have racks in front of them. So I took like the garage racks that my husband had and I kind of put it up there, but then I also have like posters on it that kind of fit like a bookshelf.
Okay.
So it looks kind of like a bookshelf and has things sitting on it. So it's really cute.
Nice.
And so most people, when they walk in, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize that those are the doors.
Yeah.
Right? So
totally.
yes.
I just put nice shower curtains in front of mine that have like windows at the top where the windows are. And people come in and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize this was the garage. I'm like, that's the point. That's the point.
Yes. And so it has its own entrance. It's perfect.
Nice.
So it was perfect for it. I basically picked my classroom up and put it in here.
Yeah. And it's really nice that it's like separate from the house as well. That was like one of the reasons that I was like, no, we're going to do the garage because I don't want to have it in my living space. I want to be able to like close the doors to the school and relax in my house.
I love it. I definitely walk out and close the door just like I'm leaving and I'm forgetting all of that to reset.
Yep. Totally. Awesome. So how would you say that being part of the Preschool All-Stars helped you along the way?
All Stars has been amazing. I think that all of the women on there are phenomenal. So many ideas, so much inspiration. And like, if I have a question, normally somebody else has already asked the question before I could ask the question. But if I'm asking a question, they come back and they respond. It's so positive, not like a lot of other groups that you could be a part of. There's like so much positivity going on in the group. And I guess Joy, when she's doing like her lives and her motivation. So I don't always plug into everything, but if I need motivation, then I know that I need to get on because then I'll be, motivated for another 3 months.
Yes, definitely.
So yes, it has everything you need because sometimes you feel like, oh, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this is what I want to do. This is it. So you fire yourself back up.
Yeah. I'm actually meeting my first all-star in person this weekend and I'm so excited.
Oh,
Yeah, we're doing like a trunk or treat together because I think she's the only other one in Vegas. And she reached out to me and she's like, do you want to team up to do a trunk or treat? And I'm like, yes, because I don't have a parking lot. I'm in my house and she runs hers out of a church. And I'm like, well, I get to meet an all-star in the wild. I'm like, how exciting.
Right, in real life. What?
Yep, I know. It'll be fun. So what are your like 5-year, 10-year plan? Where do you see this going, taking off?
I see this being big. Like, you start small, but I can see it building for sure. So just the amount of reaction that I got to all of the posts that I put, and even on Google, people just Googling, a lot of people found me just through Google. So and me just opening, I know that after I'm here for a while and the word gets out, that I can just see more and more people coming. So my plan is maybe for this year and next year to be in the garage, but I would love to have a space, and I would love to expand. So I mean, like, I was talking to my nephew and he just was just like, oh, you're not working anymore, you're not working in the school anymore. And then he said, so you're gonna have your own school? I'm like, yes, I am. And he's just like, he's like, so then you're going to have employees? It's like, yes, I am. And then he's like, so then you're going to have more than one class and you're going to be the principal. And I'm like, oh, yes.
The principal, yes.
I was like, just wait to catch the vision, right?
Love it.
He's like the 6th grade, but I was just loving like that he was going with me there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, I would love to take the class and reproduce it, 6 or 7 times, and like have 6 or 7 preschool, like have a whole school. And it'd be great.
Yes, totally. I never even considered like being the principal. I mean, normally it's like the director, but I kind of like that, being the principal. I kind of like that.
Yes, those were words. I wouldn't have said the principal.
Oh, damn. That's awesome. Well, I wish you all the best of luck in your journey to being the principal. Thank you so much for speaking with me. Actually, my last question that I always ask is, what advice would you give to someone else who was maybe where you are a year or two ago in the district and thinking about branching off, but not really sure? I mean, doesn't have the confidence, doesn't know if it'll work for them. What would you say to them?
I would say that you should definitely do it. I was so scared. So even though I knew it would work, it's like inside me, I knew it was going to work if you work it. But at the same time, I was so scared. And so just listening to All Stars and listening to Joy, it gives you the confidence to make that step. But you can't go forward unless you make that step. And it's scary because you can't see where you're going. Yeah. But you got to do it. You got to do it. And so I'm out here and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm about to take this leap of faith. But I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah, so glad. So glad. I can't even imagine my life if I was still in the district. And that was less than 2 years ago that I was teaching in the district. And I can't even imagine like how different my life would be if I stayed already.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just out here and I just I hear stories and I'm just like, whew, I'm just
dodge that bullet. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's a scary thing, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not everyone I feel like has that, is able to do it, whether it's fear or, I mean, also, there's life circumstances. Thankfully, I was able to leave because I go on my husband's healthcare, like, I know that's a huge thing. Like becoming an entrepreneur is hard because then you might not have healthcare, which is just a crazy thing that it's so ridiculous that we even have to think about that. But there's a lot of things to be thankful for and a lot of people that helped us along the way, but you can do it. I just want to tell people you can do it. Just have the faith, put the work in, have the faith, and you can do it. Yeah. And that's why we love interviewing people like you, because you're doing it. And we're showing people that you can do it and you can have the life you want. You can make the life you want. You just got to put the thought and the work and the love into it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess I would say one other thing, just being in the group, like when you get Preschool in a Box and you get all those free forms and you get all that. When I did daycare the first time, I didn't have all that stuff. I made all that stuff myself. So
Yeah.
it's taken like a ton of time off. I mean, it's a lot of work, but there's so much that you get that you don't have to do yourself, that it's just worth it. It's just,
and there's so much guidance. Like, we don't know so much, and we're able to, we're told it, like we just have that information. That's how we're all doing this, is there's so much guidance there. We're not all on our own, figuring it all out on our own. We're being given this path, and we're able to follow it, which makes it so much easier. Because I can't imagine doing this if I didn't know, if I didn't have any of the stuff that the Preschool All-Stars taught and the Preschool in a Box. If I didn't have any of that, that would be a lot harder to do this all on my own.
And I did that one time. I was successful then, and I was like, I can market, and so this time I'm marketing just because I've been taught how by, Joy and Preschool in a Box and all this stuff. So I'm just like, the tools are there. the tools are there. Yeah. They're to be successful. Yes. So I mean, I just love it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I love hearing your story, and hopefully we'll get to catch back up next year and you can tell me all the new stuff that's going on.
Yes. I'm excited about it.
Yes. I wish you all the best of luck, and good luck with that license, getting that license and up in those classes and all of that. And keep that Friday, girl. Keep that Friday for you.
Yes.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools, and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.